Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial I will teach you how to paint a young woman portrait with acrylic paints. I start by mixing some very basic colors like yellow and a little bit of red and some more quantity of white to give a very light and soft color on the skin base. This is the first layer of the skin, so you can apply it on the whole face and on the neck area, and after that we are going to come with the darker colors. Here is a very important tip for you while painting with acrylic paints. I use a medium that is called acrylic grund gesso. This medium I find it the most useful tool for painting with acrylic paints because it can do miracles while painting with it. So if you mix the acrylic paints with this medium, with the grund, and if you blend them with the grund while painting, it can desaturate the colors and it can create some very light tones. Make sure that while you add the shadows, the basic shadows on the skin, you smoothen the brush strokes very well because there shouldn't be any brush stroke on the canvas, and you can do that by using the grund gesso and maybe some tissue paper with water, and you can easily smoothen all the brush strokes from the canvas. Now I'm going to use a very light soft color on the background because the woman portrait is very light, so it doesn't need a lot of contrast. And I think that this blue is a good color for the background. Next I'm going to use some very basic colors on the hair just to cover the most important areas and to give the feeling of natural aspect of the hair. So I am using combinations of burnt umber, ochre, burnt sienna, and also yellow and ochre, and of course acrylic grund that can desaturate the colors because it's very important not to create very high contrast on the hair. Always use acrylic grund to desaturate the colors because if you use the basic colors on your canvas, they are very saturated and pigmented colors. At this point, I'm not worrying about any detail on the hair because I just add some basic tones, the first layer on the hair. Now I will continue by painting the facial features. I used combinations of red and burnt umber for the lips because she has a very red lipstick, and also I mixed them with grund gesso because the colors can get very saturated. And I started to add some very soft shadows on the face. Always remember that if you do any mistake, the acrylic ground gesso can make miracles. So if you worry about not getting the facial features right, you can always cover them with the acrylic ground, because what it does, it can cover the entire color with white, and you can paint over it after without worrying about any mistake. Always smoothen the colors by mixing them on the canvas with lights and shadows, because there shouldn't be any high contrast on the face. The face is very smooth and very light, so you should have always blended, very well blended colors. Look up very well for all the shadow areas, but don't worry if you don't get them right from the first time, because you can always come up and enhance them or desaturate them as you wish. And after you enhanced all the shadows and after you painted the facial features, you can then come up with a little bit more detail on the hair, and I add more highlights and I give a little bit more contrast to the hair by mixing highlights and shadows. Make sure that you match the original photos with the highlights and shadows, because it's very important to resemble with the original photo. After adding some more details on the hair and after getting the right highlights and shadows to the hair, you can then check out all the highlights and shadows on the face, because you can always adjust all the colors to make them smoother and lighter. To enhance the face a little more, I use some light combination of ochre and burnt sienna along with acrylic ground to give more depth to the face in the shadows area of the face. Now the chin of my portrait might look a little longer than the original, but that's because I didn't add the lighter colors on the neck, and I do it right now to give more depth on the neck area. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial. If you did, spread the word about the advantages of my subscription, and thank you all for watching. I hope to see you next time.